What's up? What's up, good people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I believe we are officially live. Do me a favor, everybody that's tuning in right now, go ahead and share this out on your network. Start a watch party. Join in with us. Like, share. It is important that we're supporting independent Black media. Welcome to CTN Media, where we are changing the narrative in media. Today, we have some special guests in the house. But before I get in, I want to tell you a little bit about CTN. It's right on YouTube. Go to CTN Media for Change the Narrative in Media so we can make sure we have more conversations like this. You're tuned into For the Culture with Shay J. This is a conversation that goes with influencers, community leaders, politicians, everyday people, and extraordinary people doing things for our community and in our community. Please, again, make sure you like, subscribe, and share as we get to it. Today, I'm so honored to have some dope guests in the house. These gentlemen are not only right here in my own community, but these are true community. Boom. Right here today, I have with me the one and only Brandon Bruce. What's up, B?
What's going on?
My guy, Rodney Bates. And of course, Mr. NAACP himself, Rashad Younger.
How's everybody doing?
Man, I'm so excited to have you guys here with me. And what I love most is the topic that we're talking about today. We're only doing a short 30-minute interview, but I think it was, for me, this was relevant and necessary to talk about this and highlight this. I always tell everybody how much I love Black men, but I'm a true person that believes that you can't talk about loving people and all that when you don't support them, you don't uplift them, and you don't share what they're doing. They are doing something phenomenal. It's called 1,000 Black Men Who Lead. Yes. 1,000 Black Men Who Lead right here in Denver, Colorado on Capitol, taking place August 15th, 2020. I'm so excited about it. And you know, one of my favorite quotes is, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced. My guy, James Baldwin. And when we're facing a lot in our community right now, this is an amazing response to that. Gentlemen, just tell me, I'm gonna start with you, Brandon. Where did this mission come from? What was the significance of getting this off the ground and running?
I think the how this all came about was actually from one of our sisters. It was a call to arms. It was a challenge by Sandra Young to just say, hey, brothers, there's a need, there's a space, and there's opportunity for you guys to step up and show the community that you are here with the resources, power, and connections to actually lead an event as Black men. So after that, you know, there was, phone calls made and people said, hey, you know what, I'm going to put this title aside. I'm going to put this agenda aside, and we're just going to come together and we're going to make this happen. We're going to show our community that we don't need any outside sources. We don't need any outside resources, but we can do this for each other and by each other.
Man, I love to hear that. And it's beautiful. Shout out to Sandra Young, Madam President of the Denver chapter of the NAACP. And I'm excited to hear that. You know, one thing I do know is when you have great women by your side, men tend to do a lot better. When we're thinking about what's going on right now. And we've seen different organizations. We've seen men come together and we've seen men lead. Tell me, what is the main goal? What makes a success when we look at 1,000 Black men that lead right here in Denver, Colorado? What quantifies this as a success?
Well, I guess I'll answer because they're looking at me. So I guess for me personally, a success is just being around brothers that have put their agendas aside and literally just said, I am your brother. We all don't got to like each other. We all got to agree on everything. But one thing that I do know for sure is that over this process, I have made friendships and connections that I never thought that I would. I have been in a barbershop that I didn't even know existed. But now that I know that I will be around and know that it's a safe haven. Right. It's a safe haven for my community and for the brothers that need services on so many levels. So for me, why it's significant is because I know there's an authenticity in the hearts that are involved.
That's a beautiful thing. And I think something that you hit on so much, and a lot of times in our community, we're afraid to talk about, we don't have to agree all the time to work together, to make movements happen. We don't have to all agree, but let's find, if we can find one thing we agree on, and what we agree right now on is that we need Black men to lead in this fight. Rashad, when you think about the fight that we're going through right now, where did these ties tie in from you? I know one thing that we talked about, that this is not just another march. What are some of the pillars that this march is standing on?
So one, I just want to say, just like you stated, we're at disaster level, and so we gotta answer the phone, right? And
Yeah.
so the five pillars in regards to what we're going to be talking about is education, economics, community, village, as well as health, and being able to make sure that we have our voice at the table as Black men and saying, just like Brandon stated, we want to be able to be the ones to solve our problems. We know that we have resources in our community. We want to bridge the gap in regards to those resources and make sure that our community is receiving the things that they need. And that is not outside forces because, as you know, our community, Shay, we don't really like to go outside of our community. Everyone's angry when we have to look at a savior. We're not looking for a savior when we can do it ourselves.
That's so beautiful. How important is it in this moment when, like you said, we're at a disaster level? We're watching babies being detained. We're watching 6-year-olds laying down on the ground. We're watching youth violence at an all-time high right here in our own community. How important is it to have a role in this for you, Mr. Bates? How important was this? And you've been a leader in our community for a while in different capacities, and especially with the youth looking up to you as Coach Bates. How important is this for you?
It's very important as a Black man in the community. And then to be with like-minded Black men that want to make a change in our community. But first, before I go there, let me say to you, Shay J, thank you so much for the platform that you've given us to put this message out, to share a little bit about our goals, our views, and why we're together. And I just want to thank you for giving us an opportunity. 1,000 Black Men Lead, it's a simple, like we said, it's a call to action. It's a unification and solidarity. It says we can bring 1,000 Black men together. We can share some of the issues that's plaguing our community. Absolutely. And when the Black man takes the lead and we empower the Black man, we'll see the positive changes not only in our households. When we strengthen our households, we automatically strengthen our community. And that's the mission behind it. And like Brother Brandon said, we brought together 10 like-minded brothers, put their agendas aside. I done met some brothers that I've never known, I always heard about, and I'm honored to be amongst these young men, that's willing to say, hey, let's go. And that's the energy we want to take out to the rest of to our communities, like, hey, let's just go.
Yeah, let's go.
The work is out there being done. We want to plug into those same organizations doing the work. How can we help? How can we assist? How can we bridge the gap? Hey, let's go.
You guys are doing it too, and what I love is that you're doing the work. You're not just talking about the work. And what I also love to see is that this is the intergenerational thing. Brandon, how important is it to have young men at the table when we have these conversations? I love seeing all you from different walks of life, different times of life, where I know you all from different places. How important is this to mobilize our youth to be a part of this?
It's vastly important. I think one of the things that we talk about in this group is making sure that we address things that we know that can make this unsuccessful. And one of those things is being typecast or typehold that one group's voice. When I talk about group, I mean age is more important or more relevant than another. And that's not how this came about. I'm the youngest person on this call, but I am not the youngest person that is involved with this movement. And I think that's really important because how I view the world at 32 is completely different how one of my elders at 70 is going to view the world. Right. It's going to be different how a 50-year-old views the world. And it's going to be completely different as our activists that are on the streets, because it is the 18-year-olds. It is the young people right now that are marching in our streets right now. And I want to really point that out, that they are the ones doing that work. They are the catalyst right now. And I think to ignore them or any other those age ranges does us a disservice, because there's experience and value in each one of those.
Man, there's so much knowledge right here on this call. Again, those of you just now tuning in with us, do me a favor, share this out on your network. It's important that we get this message out. It's 1,000 Black men leading right here in Denver, Colorado. And I need your brothers, your uncles, your cousins, your daddies, your sons to be a part of this movement. It's taking place on August 15th. Gentlemen, when I think about this, I always like to reference, I think we don't know where we're going if we don't know where we came from. When we reference the Million Man March, when we reference that happening in Washington, D.C. in 1996 with Louis Farrakhan, how does this mirror that, and how is this different from that?
So how it mirrors it is, we're taking the same lead in regards to Louis Farrakhan saying we need our men to be at the table and being at the head of the table and making sure that we're talking about the things that are going on in our community. But also the difference in regards to this is for Denver. we said, we see that there's a lot of issues that's happening in our own community, and we need to focus on home first, and we need to bring, our 1,000 Black men. If it's going to be more than 1,000 Black men, great. But we're just saying, hey, as men, we want to answer that call as kings and say, let's work together. Let's unify. Let's stop all the craziness in regards to people saying, hey, I'm working over here. This is my agenda. I'm just looking for money to be able to solve problems. We got to get past that. These kids need us. They're looking at us as examples, and we gotta take the baton. We gotta run, just like Rodney Bates has stated. We gotta run, and it's already to a point where it's like we're losing the race. So we got to run even faster to be able to catch up and be able to try to solve some of the problems that we have. And with saying that, I don't want to say that we don't have strengths in our community. We want to say we want to fine tune in regards to the strengths that we have, and make sure everyone does know what's going on.
That's huge. Now, a lot of people are asking me, they said, now, if they can't come to this event because of COVID, and if they might be able to come because of COVID, how will you be enforcing that COVID-19 safety? How will that all work?
So there's a few ways. First and foremost, we are going to have hand sanitizer there. We are going to have masks there. So if you're worried, we are absolutely preparing ourselves for that. We're also going to do our absolute best to social distance. We are not in the business of getting anybody sick or risking anybody's life that knows that they don't need to be there. So if you're a person with, conditions that that is not the best place for you to be, this is not a one-time, one-stop shop type of deal. We do have follow-up. And I know that's a question that, often happens when Black men lead things is this just a march? Is this just? No, it's not just a just. We do have follow-ups. We do have intention behind everything that we're doing. We're very systematic in that approach. So yes, there will be more for you to be a part of, but this initial launch, if you can be there, brother, be there. Don't be the man that, looks back 70 years and sees the Million Man March picture, and you can't tell your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew that you were there. This could literally be something that seriously changes the landscape of our community.
Absolutely. And I think especially, being in Denver, Colorado, where we always question how many Black people are even here. So I'm excited just to see more than 10 Black men on the whole front. So I have women asking me right now, they say, can they show up? Can they be there? Can they support? And how do they support?
Yes, so we are saying, we want our sisters there. We want our Black women there. There's also been other community, people saying that they want to be there. We're not saying that you can't be there, but we are saying that as men, we're leading, we're taking the stance to be able to make sure that we're solving our problem. We understand that without our Black women, we can't move, right? And it's just like if you look at a family structure, the father's not as successful unless he has the mother there, right? So we're saying we need you guys there, but understand that, we have to be the voice. We have to be in the position to be able to say, we got this. We got us as a community. So the community, we're asking you guys to come out too, but understand, and we're asking even our Black women as well as the community, make sure the brothers are there. If you know a brother that hasn't heard, or seen a flyer, hasn't heard about this event, please let them know. And just, tell them like, hey, you do not want to miss out on this. This is going to be an historic event, as well as, like we stated before, it's the follow up in regards to what we're going to have in regards to this conversation on August 15th.
Absolutely. One of the things, when I look at the 1,000 men, Million Men March, one of the things where we looked at what was the outcome after that, what happened. And one of the big things that said it really mobilized and contributed to the increase of Black voters. We know we're going into voting season. Will you be addressing what voting looks like nationally and locally? Will that be addressed? And what does that look like for you guys?
It's not a political platform.
There we go.
We are talking empowerment. And we know one of the ways to empower ourselves is to have a say and have a word. Yeah. So we will have voter registration that will be available to out there, and we will encourage voter registration.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. When we're looking at, like you said, it's for all men in different areas. When men are saying, I haven't had the opportunity to be around like-minded men, this may be a new opportunity for them. Can you guys just speak to the brother out there that may not be as tied into the community and hasn't felt like the community has wrapped their arms around them because they don't maybe look like what we want them to look like or sound how we want to sound? Can you just encourage them about coming to this event and why it fits for them?
I would love to, please. Look here. The title of the event is 1,000 Black Men. Okay? Don't worry about what you've been through. Mm-hmm. Okay? You come and let us empower you so we can help you go through a different change in your life and empower you. So no matter what your connection or disconnection has been to the community, like I told you, our mission is to bring solidarity and unification. That's our mission. All right?
I love that. When I just a one-off, who are you guys inspired by? I think as Black men, a lot of times we don't, I always talk about this with my partner, Jice, is, there's that white mediocrity and then there's that Black excellence that we strive for. And sometimes we don't have a blueprint for what Black excellence looks like or who our superheroes should be and who we should be looking to. Who do you men pull from to lead and to be the men you are today? Who does that inspiration come from?
So
I'll start. Oh, go ahead, Rashad. My bad.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. You're all gonna answer.
I mean, for me, it's frankly, it's two people. So first and foremost is Detroit Red, my guy behind me, my brother Malcolm X, and I say Detroit Red intentionally because it speaks to his progress and his growth as a man. He was not perfect. He made his mistakes. He had his flaws, but then he was able to, educate himself and be educated and open his mind on so many different levels to be able to be an effective and impactful member of not just his community, but this world. So that is, probably one of the most, largest influential people in my life. But then also my grandmother, her name is Betty Owens. She is a church mother here. She's from Texas. She is Kojic. She is absolutely about her Jesus and she loves him. And she's a type of person and type of Christian that I strive to be, where she don't got to tell you she's a Christian. She's just going to embrace you and love you and hug you, and you can feel it radiate off of her spirit. So for me, those are my, greatest influences.
Ooh, Brandon, I love that. And like I said, see, he gave credit to a woman and a man. I always tell ladies that it's just important that sometimes I don't think we have this conversation as men and women, but us leaning on each other and really taking both sides of this makes us stronger as a community. Rashad, who is it that you pull from?
So the first person I got to say is, of course, my Lord and Savior. I am a believer, so Yeshua. And then just like Brandon, Malcolm X, Martin, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, as well as, my family structure as well. My dad being the head, in regards to my household and being a civil rights attorney, criminal defense attorney, and doing a lot of work here in Denver. I pride myself on being his son, Glenn Younger II. His name is Glenn Younger. And then, of course, my mom, my mom being a nurse and, just being a brilliant lady and always pushing me towards excellence as well as education. So, and then, last but not least, of course, my grandparents in regards to my elders.
Yes. This is 1,000 Black men. All right, Mr. Bates. OG Bates.
I pulled from my parents, my mom and my dad, and I got some strong aunties back in Chicago and in Michigan and uncles that grounded us and give us a foundation and kind of mold us into who we are, no matter what we did and how we did it, whether we right or wrong. It was always love, forgiveness, and let's move on. So that's kind of where I come from.
Man, you guys are inspiring so many people and so many young brothers. I think we've seen so many things with the knees to our necks and men just gasping for air and breath. And right now you're giving me breath to know that there's hope. And with 1,000 Black men leading, I know that we will get somewhere and somewhere for our people and our culture. This is happening again, you guys, on August 15th, and I need you to come out. This is not just to have a conversation right here today, but this is to mobilize this. It's not just a moment, but it's a movement. And I think it takes everybody to be at this table, and especially those of you women that are listening right now. We know a lot of times women, we listen better than men. So do me a favor and share this out with your guys in your life, because if we don't do this, then who will? And if we don't support our brothers when they get ready to leave, then who's going to do it? We have to keep uplifting you. Gentlemen, What are your last words to the people that are still they're out here, they're listening, they want to be a part of this, they want to get involved? Please give us some last words to encourage the people to be a part of 1,000 Black men who lead on the Capitol.
So I think it's important for me to
So the event is August 15th. Sorry, I think so. It's breaking up on my end. I apologize. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, you're good.
You could have went, brother, but I was just gonna say probably the same thing that he was. August 15th, come out. You know, if you have any hesitation to come out, whether you feel like you could be a part of it, you feel like you can be heard, give this a shot. I mean, I hate to say this and steal a quote, but what do you have to lose? You have everything to gain and nothing to lose by being with your brothers, having a chance to hear from some of the most amazing and influential people in our community. Again, I said we are intentional about relying on each other. I know it's popular right now for other people to support us. It's popular right now for them to send checks and be performative. That's not what this is. So come out and support.
I like that, Brandon. Rashad.
Just to add into what the event is going to start at 9:00. So, be there. We're gonna be able to have some great information. You're gonna hear some great things. But it's not just about this, like we stated earlier. It's about the follow up. We can't just come and advertise and be this big billboard and not think that the work really needs to be done. So we're asking our brothers to be engaged from the beginning all the way until the end, until we see actual change in our community. So again, it doesn't matter where you come from, if you're in the suburbs, if you're in the hood, if you're a Crip, you're a Blood, you with the Omegas, the Kappas, it doesn't matter. We're asking all brothers. If you are on Wall Street or on Main,
welcome.
Be out there. You don't want to miss it. Don't want to miss it.
I don't want to miss anybody. Crips, Bloods, whoever you are, I want you there. No, and I think you hit on something so beautifully, and that's what I love most about the A Million Men March, is that it showed that brothers can rally together for a common cause peacefully and really make change. And so I think that what I love most is that this is not just a march. You guys have a plan, and this is attached to economics, it's attached to health, it's attached to education, it's attached to so many things. So those of you that are saying we don't have time for another march, it's not just another march. We're mobilizing and we're making a movement. There's 1,000
and
Black men.
Just to be honest with you, Shay, it's not a march.
Boom.
It's not a march.
It's a gathering.
It's a gathering. I like that. It's a gathering. You gather. So all of you right here in Denver, Colorado, come gather with us on August 15th. Again, it's 9 a.m. Denver Capitol. It is this weekend. We need to see you there. And I need you to share this out on your network. If you haven't shared it out yet, share it out on your network. Let's get everybody there. I haven't seen 1,000 Black men in Denver yet, but I'm really excited to see all 1,000 of you. So please show up. Prove us all wrong, because my sisters are anxiously waiting to see you guys in the building. Any last words, gentlemen, for our audience?
Yes, I have one last plea. Brothers, if you have a desire to be strengthened, please show up. Brothers, if you have strength that you want to share, please show up.
Ooh.
Thank you.
That left no one out.
Yep.
That left no one out. That's why you're the OG, babes. That's why you're the true OG right there. You guys, we're changing the narrative, and this is what this media is all about. If you haven't went to YouTube and subscribed, go to YouTube, CTN Media, for changing the narrative, but we can't do it without you. It takes our whole community. We're making sure we're supporting and building independent Black media so we can have conversations like this that they won't highlight on mass media. Remember, Malcolm X said, "A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything." Stand with us. Stand with us, stand by us, move with us, grind with us. We're 1,000 men who lead on Capitol Hill, August 15th, 9 a.m. I want to see each and every one of you in the outside building. Make sure you show up. Bring your mask. We're going to keep it safe. We're going to make sure that we really pour into one another, because that's what it's about. At a time like this, we need love, we need strength, and we need our brothers to lead. But we got to make sure we have their back. I appreciate what you guys are all doing. My guy, Brandon Bruce, Mr. Rodney Bates, and the one and only Rashad Younger. I'm your girl, Shay J, for the culture. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Peace and love.
Thanks you.
Thank you, Shay J. We love you.
We love y'all. Thank y'all.
Peace.